All right, welcome back to The Devil in Detail, the Grendel Reread podcast. I'm Eli.
I'm Ben. This is episode 23, part 2 of our Silverback coverage, a 3-part miniseries from 1989. Wowie wow, Argent Origin. What's up,
Argent
Eli?
Origin. Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm good. It was a good week of making comics.
Absolutely.
I worked across no less than 5 different projects this week.
Dang, dude.
Which is crazy, and I thought about a 6th one. You and I just locked down the PDF of Oh Fuck Why issue 1.
That's right.
A comic book that gets you high. It's ready for a test run, so we're excited for that.
Yeah, doing a small print run. Pretty excited.
I started Weapon Ech, the Barry Windsor Smith send-up tribute study piece. Oh my God, Siri! I'm not talking
Siri.
to you. Siri
Get serious.
She's not participating in Weapon Ech. We got like
Wants to,
45 artists are contributing. We've got
Yeah, I was super surprised how fast it filled up.
we have a multiple Eisner Award winner in there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. And friends and chums and ringsiders and kayfabers alike will be recreating Barry Smith's 1991 Wolverine masterpiece, Weapon Ech. We can't wait.
I got a spread in there. Pretty excited.
Yeah. Do you have? Is he murdering wolves, bears, or panthers in your spread?
I think he's just ripping up some scientists in mine.
Okay.
I took one that has the first 3 pages is just all black with some wordage.
Oh yeah.
He's
that's a
waking
good one.
up. Yeah. And then he's got let's see what else is going on. It's mostly like Wolverine in the 3-shot, but then there's like his hands creeping across panels and stuff. So I'm excited to work with these computers and stuff.
Yeah, they're all bangers. There's maybe half dozen pages that have been unclaimed, 5 days into this thing, and even amongst those, they're all pretty good. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them have no Wolverine, but they're the only ones in the whole book. So
Right.
that's exciting. And I did a comic. I did my grandfather's autobiography comic.
Oh, that's right. How many pages is that?
That is 2 pages so far. You published the first one in the Ringside Anthology #1,
Nice.
and then the second page is going into Mike Sardo's Monkeys Fighting Robots #2,
Fun magazine.
and the third one is going to be in Wizard 2. Don't tell Eli. And so it's my grandfather's Korean War experience, and I'm sure there were other comics that I worked on this week, but it was all comics this week. What'd you
What a
do?
week. I'm always working on some stuff too because of the kayfabe Tober. I've been doing a lot of art on that stuff, and we had a Jim Mahfood day in there, which I thought was really cool. He was like super psyched and honored by all the pages. And so I wrote to a bunch of people on Facebook and Instagram and put them all together in a quick little zine that I sent out to Jim with a gold wizard that he asked for when he was on the cast here. So that was really fun. And I'm going to put that PDF out for everyone as soon as I see that like Jim got his, because it's kind of like a secret, but or like a surprise for Jim more than
It's a secret surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
A secret surprise.
I want him to be like surprised when he opens the package and sees that.
Sure. Very cool.
And then working on Oh Fuck Why with You, getting my Barry Windsor Smith pages ready. Again, trying to get the Ween zine solidified, which is a little bit harder nowadays because our Ween group, like the ringside seats, kind of broke up, so I don't have like that one-stop shop to reach everyone. But I think we both are publishing and getting stuff going, which is really, really fun. And I'm psyched to work on my Weapon Ech pages.
Yeah, and you also have 2 other comics projects that you need to get rolling on.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The Image Grand Design is we're locking pages. We've got a lot of pages coming in. I got a meeting at about 4, I think, with the Image Grand Disaster, the other side of the book pages. Okay. So it's going to be good.
And you've got other comics to draw as well. You've got Monkey Line and the other one, and there aren't enough hours in the day.
There isn't, nor is my hand ready for it all.
Sure.
But the kayfabe tober has been really good progress or practice for me to get back drawing every day and get my confidence back in some stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh, cool. Word. Shall we get into Loup d'Argent?
Let's do it. Hit me with the intro.
Two in the box, ready to go. Any fast, any slow. Yeah. Vivat Random.
It's like the devil is my best friend. On the roads with the pen to the fork end, or till time end. Like Orion, Jupiter, my kin, bloodline private. We control the whole shit. The wolf won't beef, then we feast off the rip. Behold the devil in detail. Behold the devil in detail.
All right, and we're back. Another great theme song by Manus. Well, not another great theme song, but another fun romp through the theme song by Manus.
It's always fun to listen to. Thank you, Laserdisc.
Yeah, and hey, if y'all are listening to Manus, he's releasing a new song every day this month. So follow at Manus Dunbar on Instagram, or go check him out on Apple Music or Spotify. New song every day this month. Craziness.
Jan Michael Vintage has Manus's vintage t-shirts.
Yes, exactly. He's on the lookout for one of the few Grendel tees that I don't have, which is the Grendel Prime t-shirt, which he says he can find 2 of. So I'm hoping. But yeah, now that we're done hawking on Manus, let's get into Kamiko's Silverback number 2.
I really feel like this series is downplayed for 4 reasons.
Okay. I found this on the web, so this series is downplayed.
They're everywhere.
This series is downplayed.
They're listening.
What was her results for that, dude?
She doesn't know it. She's so stupid. Matt kind of downplays it, and we wrote to him, and he said, make of it what you will in so many words.
Yeah.
I'm reading it for the first time, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not a huge, beyond the Max, I'm not a huge Bill Messner Loebs guy. This one really made me curious about his Fantagraphics series, as Epicurious the Sage, and the journey of Wolverine McAllister.
I'm interested in that. I mean, I've read Epicurious the Sage and loved them, and those were brought to me early. I've picked those up a long time ago, maybe in 2004 when I lived in the city, but always great. And yeah, it's like the first Grendel Tales. It feels like, I don't know if there was already Grendel Tales out or not, but
it does feel like a Grendel Tales series.
Yeah, because we're following these kind of side people, and again, Argents, or as they call them in this one, Silverback, or Loup d'Argent.
I think that like this one for various reasons, it sort of holds a position as a much lesser series. I enjoyed last week's and this week's very much, especially because of Bernie's art. This week, the inks are wild. There's tons of shades of Will Eisner.
Yeah, and there's more of a call out to this dude Peck, who kind of wasn't as much called out last week, but this week,
he was a indie Kamiko caliber guy. His book was Troll Lords.
Oh, Troll Lords, I have that.
Yeah, you got that one.
Yeah, of course.
And I can't remember. He was a negative burn contributor at Caliber. So says Lambiek.
They're good.
Yeah, but it has kind of a non-prestigious position in the saga. It is far from my least favorite. Entry into the whole thing. I'm enjoying it, and I think there's insights into Argent that we've never seen elsewhere, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, and also it's like, as you said earlier when we were talking before this story, and especially this issue, is about bad people. Like the people in this, viewed through the lens of today. There's problematic wordage. There's all this. I mean, there's violence and rape, and I mean, this is taking place at a time in 1800s where that's what it is. That's how these people view, and I'm not sure the story would have been made like this now. You know what I mean? Like while
certainly
the
not
speech,
not by a mainstream independent publisher.
Yeah, certainly not.
At least it's just like dog whistles for the PC police, basically.
Yeah,
The
but I
framing
mean,
of the story is around Benedict Arnold's campaign up north in the winter of 1775.
okay. Yeah.
What little I recall of my Revolutionary War history as a student is that the winters were terrible.
Oh yes. I
and
mean, it
that
shows that many times here in this
yeah,
book.
and that's what this is about. It's about a group of uh, a team of French trappers, Dutch mercenaries, and native guides who are waiting for Benedict Arnold and another American leader to, I believe, stage an attack on the British occupied city of Quebec. I think that's what's going on here.
I think so too. They're waiting for reinforcements as well. They're like camped out waiting for reinforcements in order
Yeah.
to storm the thing.
Yeah.
And they, people are dying and they're blaming it on, some of them is blamed on this like Wendigo creature, and then people are like, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah. So it's like 200 years after issue 1.
Right.
Okay.
And Argent's been roaming the wilderness, and we kind of come up with him and his inner monologue, which we get throughout the book as well. I had a human name and a clan name once. I knew love. Now I am Maslin. All I know is death. Maslin.
He is Maslin. That's wild.
Right.
It's last week we were not entirely sure where Argent began and Maslin ended, and here he's just straight up saying that's
right.
That's
He's
who
like
I am.
the personification or whatever personification of this evil force that now has form. Violence and hatred call to me like a lover.
We're dropped right in the middle of this situation. There's like 7 characters that we meet. Only 2 or 3 of them are really important, and only Billy Cloudleg is of like importance from start to finish, it would seem. But these guys waiting for Benedict Arnold's army in their, it's like there's a fort up there that they're trying to fortify, making things hospitable for that army to come so that they can sack Quebec, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And shit sucks. It's super cold and people are dying.
Yeah, they're freezing to death. This guy's eyes are frozen. It's insane. Yeah, on page 2, again, we're just kind of like meeting the group here. We're meeting the trappers. We're meeting the Indian guides. And
yeah, and the tension between the different groups,
and the class structure that's kind of going on.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. And it takes a few pages for the artwork to kind of get into full tilt, but once it does, it sort of enters like full-on bande dessinée Euro comics territory for my eye in terms of the watercoloring and the inking and the storytelling.
Yeah.
Actually, it takes 3 pages. The third page is,
I was gonna say, yeah,
it's pretty tremendous.
Yeah, it's really, really cinematic as we go in on his face, and that's when Argent, because they're kind of talking on the page before about, there's the Wendigo, there's the wind spirit, the undying vengeance of the night, and all these things like, and then we see this guy who's coming off, and he gets, Argent rips his arm off and beats him to death with it.
Yeah, as things get more and more intense in the scene, the Bernie really comes out.
Oh yeah, it does.
With the doodads and the madness and the color
awesome.
Temperature going from gray to sickly green to violent red, more and more saturated until until Billy Cloudleg wakes up from the dream of this murder going.
Right. And we don't know if this page 3 is a dream or if it's the real life, but we think it's the real life. And then you think it's his dream. Again, the first panel on page 4 is heavily Bernie until he wakes up from the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he's telling let's see. So there's the other guy, Mantooth. Dorothy Mantooth was a saint.
I think it's, I don't know. What's that from? I guess a
Anchorman
Will Ferrell movie. Yeah, I could hear it in you. Yeah, and like as soon as we get to this second spread, Bernie's use of wet and dry media and different watercolor techniques, and I think that the breath might be gouache. You can see that like
Oh yeah.
it's transparent and then opaque in different spots, and it's just like it looks really
that's
cool.
the star. I mean, it's so funny,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean, the colors.
I mean,
of
the line art ain't bad either.
It's not, but
yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, right. So it's only a dream. So basically, we're introduced here to another native shaman character, sensitive in the same way that Argent as Dream Picker and Never Cries was as well.
Right.
Cool.
And you know, he's like, it's just a dream. Don't even worry about it. And that's until someone yells like, "Hey, dude, like you too, Pierre Tort's been killed." And they go and they see, and it's like, holy shit! It's like directly from my dream. Like he's been scraped to the bone.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I pulled this out earlier or later in the book, but it kind of like Argent kind of states his, you know, raison d'etre or whatever you call it. And he says, punish the guilty, kill the evil ones forever. And so like, you know, this guy was obviously like not a good person. And so he was not only, you know, the spirit of vengeance, but he's also a wild animal who just basically ate this guy to the bone.
Yeah, Argent finds the wicked and punishes them forever. And as mercenaries, it is to be understood that none of these are good people.
None of these are good people. Maybe their only thing in Argent's eyes is good is that they can help him with his ultimate goal, which we'll get to. But we do kind of hear on the title page or whatever it's set up, Fort Quebec, November 1775. A revolutionary army under Benedict Arnold squats outside the walls. French trappers, Indian scouts, mercenaries, and farmers. None were prepared for this winter. So that kind of sets up what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And here they are.
The atmosphere on all these pages. I mean, that's the name of the game on this book. It's really cool. I think that maybe the credits are slightly different. No. Jeff Loeb's. Bill Loeb's has a scripting credit. I think it might have been.
Oh, interesting. Plot.
Slightly different.
Right.
Oh, again, you know what it is? It's that Bernie's was color art, and now it's just color.
Right. It seems like it's all abbreviated a little bit too. There's obviously first names, so. And it's all really set up, and I think the cold, like the feeling of cold, is really like done well. Like this feels cold. Like I can feel the cold in every panel. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. we have this. You know, days pass. This poor schmuck's eyes have frozen.
Dude, that's insane.
That's not even the like. Isn't later on they're gonna?
Yeah, it's on the next page. He drinks liquor that's so cold because liquor doesn't freeze. It's so cold, so he freezes his insides. He's like, "Kill me! I just drank dry ice." God, that's crazy. Insane.
That's a very if you're doing a frontiersman book, that's definitely the kind of detail that you want to. If true, that's the kind of detail you want to get in there. Super cool. I love Bernie's use of the looks like a Prismacolor gray.
Oh yeah.
In the sky.
It's kind of silver, right as when they're talking about this like silver ghost or the Wendigo that people saw last night. I did look up because they keep calling him Loup d'Argent, which is French for silver wolf.
Wolf.
And Argent, the word Argent does mean silver. So,
not to be confused with 80s independent publisher Silver Wolf, publisher of Grips, and probably some other books that I don't know anything about.
That's a big hole for me, man. I haven't read any Tim Vigil at all.
Well, it's all waiting for you.
That's right, it is.
I'm
gonna get there.
Cool. What do you think about this? Oh my God, Bernie's background here in the last panel with the trees.
Really cool.
Again, I think that might be Frisket. You might wash in magenta, Frisket the trees in, and then do the dark purple wash. But I think there's a lot of Frisket being used. Joe Matt was talking about Frisket with an airbrush, and the kind he was talking about was an adhesive paper that you would cut and then airbrush around and peel off. But I think that with watercolor, it needs to be the liquid kind that dries, and then you rub it off with a liquid cement eraser, like one of those weird rough, flat square erasers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool,
Anyway,
man.
Yeah, this crazy spider vein stuff, and then the saturation on the flame is just like a really, really nice contrast between the two. Anyway, so
Yeah, and it almost looks like, I don't know if it's the paper or what, but it kind of looks like almost like a duo shade kind of like pattern in there, but maybe that's just the printing, like a dot.
where
printing.
do you see that in the trees back
In the fire, in like the yellow to orange fade.
Huh, interesting. I think that might be gouache or watercolor.
Yeah, reacting with like the paper or whatever, maybe.
With the amount of pigment and the amount of water.
Word.
You know, depending on what parts are dry and what parts wet, or what part of the brush is wet. You know, depending if you twist the brush, you can get
You get
cool
that.
English on it. You know.
Yeah, and this page 7 is really character building. It's a setting the stage in their camp. The fourth panel on page 7, we get a full kind of characters, like everybody's in that one. They're all talking.
Yeah, this is straight Will Eisner.
Yeah. And this poor dude who what does he say? Poor damned fool. He killed himself. He was drinking unwarmed liquor. It gets colder in water because it don't freeze. He's froze his insides to glass. And he's like, kill me.
So get him a hot toddy.
Right. Put him by the fire.
They don't care.
No, they're just
they're
like,
not not good people. You know,
No,
they're all, get his boots. He's my best friend. I'll get the boots, you know.
Yeah. We'll just piss and kill every Brit in town. And I mean, it kind of shows like the backwoods kind of like vulgarness of this all, and how they're treating women basically as sex objects and all this stuff, and just painting everyone in a terrible light, which is the reality of this time period.
And this is nothing new for this scene. And so Billy Cloudfoot, who's the native with the long nose and chin, goes into a reverie about how he can sense that Argent this is Argent speaking. Excuse me. Argent can sense Billy Cloudfoot.
Oh yeah, you're on page 8
He's
now.
near a true shaman. Yeah. Perhaps he can free me from Maslin, return my memories. Oh, a big theme here is that Argent and memory is like kind of a weird superpower. So he can't really recall his own life, but it's like Rogue and X-Men. He can sort of, the evil that he vanquished, the souls kind of enter his own consciousness, I suppose.
And can give him a little bit, like the memories are there, they're just kind of clouded by his vengeance, and like his lupine nature, the more it grows, the less his like human faculties remain, or something like that.
What do you think of these what do you think of the tail on this thought balloon?
Oh wait, where are you at? Oh yeah, he does that a few times. I noticed it. It's interesting. I'm thinking I'm gonna steal it, honestly.
Very different. I might even say European. I mean, if you look at the balloon as the guy's freezing to death, it's really nice. The lettering kind of, and then he's got kind of a jagged tail.
Yeah.
So there's some nice lettering stuff here. All right, cool.
And yeah, they're just they're fighting. Everyone's fighting. The cold's really getting to them, and everything's falling because they're waiting. They have nothing to do, so they're just waiting here to like basically die or have another cold, frozen group of people come relieve them.
Yeah, I think they're trying to wait for Arnold's army to reinforce them so that they can all take the fort.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely.
I think the fort is the city at this point.
Right. Yeah, and that's where they're kind of like right outside the city, like making a camp. Yeah.
Yeah. It says they're squatting.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
And so now Billy Cloudleg and Mantooth, am I right? They're looking to go out and
they're doing something in the woods, and they find this white guy.
They found someone beat him to the rape.
Is that what it says?
I mean, they're looking for like the chef's wife, and so they asked this guy,
have
you seen the chef's wife? And they're like, she went down that way, but then it's like the Dutchman already got her, and he's there.
Oh, I see.
Raping her, and then they're like, hey, and he's like, get out of here. So this is a terrible
This
scene.
is terrible. The colors are great though.
Yes.
The colors and the compositions are great, especially this one where Billy, the sequence, the bottom tier of page 10, where Billy like
he kind of
jumps out to save Mantooth. He smashes his head, and then he smashes him 3 times. And it's funny. It's funny that Mantooth's acting is very weird. You killed him. He's just got a big relieved smile on his face.
Yeah, and it's Mantooth going, kill him. I thought it was the lady saying that, but it's Mantooth being like, kill him.
Yeah. Okay, great. So this is awful. Like they're not good people.
No.
It's awful. And then it just gets worse.
Worse and worse. He's dead. You killed a white man. They'll hang you for sure. And he's like, wait, there's one way. And he just jams his knife into his chest and starts basically hacking him up, saying like, if they think the Silverback did it, then they won't blame us. And then he's like, yeah, that's right. Rip him to pieces. But then they like find out he's still alive. And then he's like, no, he ain't.
Yeah. Oh my
Real
God.
violent cinematic shit right here. Also, panel 3, those Bernie skulls in the background, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you see the one in panel 6? It almost looks like a stencil.
Oh shit. Yeah. Wow.
Super cool. Anyway, this is disgusting and horrible and awful.
But the colors are great.
but the colors are great. The storytelling is pretty good.
We have an ad break here for Elementals and Empire Lanes. That's not a book I've ever heard of.
How much Elementals have you read?
Not a lot. I mean, I just pick up
because it's Kamiko
when I can.
Just like it, yeah.
But I haven't really read any.
I get that, there's a number of books of its ilk from Pacific and First and Kamiko, 80s indie superheroes that were.
It moved from Kamiko to Pacific.
Did it?
I know it continued on after Kamiko fell.
I just can't get into. I just don't want to read these books. Yeah. I don't want to read the bad.
When I'm reading independent books, I'm not looking for another team of mutants.
Right.
If I want a team of supers, I'll go Marvel and DC. But when I'm reading indie books, I would read Empire Lanes here. It's an all-new 40-page black and white square-bound fantasy adventure created, written, and illustrated by Peter Gross.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I don't either. But I would read that over Elementals, I think.
Yeah. You know which one really got me excited was Aztec Ace from Eclipse.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
Oh my God. It's crazy. It's by Doug Mensch and
I like him.
Dan Day and I think Kubert School guys. I'm really Tom Yates does an issue, but it's like Doctor Who on Doug Mensch acid. It's really wild.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to
this
deep. So yeah. So then let's see what Billy Cloudleg's like. No, I'm out. I can't do this. This is fucking crazy. And Mantooth smashes him over the face, smacks him. Shut up, fool! Both be hung. Don't fuck this up.
Yeah. And then Argent arrives, and I was really struck. First of all, I really enjoy the use of black in panel 4.
Yeah.
Especially, it's really nice, especially because it's not a flat black. It looks like an ink wash. There's something going on in there.
Yeah. And the way that Argent's a little bit back. I mean, it makes him look super huge in that. He's enveloping this whole thing, and then he shows up and he's like, Jesus Christ, it's a giant.
Yeah, Billy's acting really struck me as a little off in panel 5.
When he says that, yeah.
It's just something's not right with his face.
Jesus Christ, he's giant.
And there's a few other panels that are coming up where maybe they're in shock from the murder. I don't know. But yeah, Argent's size here is really wild. But Argent senses that Billy is a dream-picking shaman,
right? Just
like he once was.
This is the one, he says. Hatred and death cling to him. He is miserable and corrupt, and yet the power is there.
There is a mutual benefit to both these guys.
Right.
He is the one, excuse me.
And they both kind of are getting a vibe off each other, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then he runs away. He scurries away. Really strange. And the lady's like, you saved me. Thank you so much. And he's like, all right, let's go. I'm going to still fuck you though. So let's go over there and do this. it's really weird. I thought that was a strange turn of events because Billy Cloudleg is like, oh, I mean, yeah, I did save you, but I came here for some sex. So let's just do that. Mantooth, you can chill out and go to sleep and have your dreams, but
Yeah, the one thing that I noticed. No, Billy Cloudleg has his dreams. Mantooth is the one who has the sex.
oh, okay. So Cloudleg is the shaman.
Cloudleg is the shaman, and Billy Cloudleg's his mindscape has been infected by the memories of Argent's life, because he refers to I hear wind in the leaves.
Oh, that's right.
Right, and wind in the leaves was Argent's girlfriend.
Right, and they're like, "How can you? Are you crazy, Billy? There's no leaves around here. Everything's dead." You know?
Yeah, and Billy goes to sleep knowing that there's a something is amiss. You know, that the mystery of Silverback he is now involved, and he sure is. The tail on the inchworm tail on the thought balloon is not. The placement of the tail really irks me because it kind of ends.
Yeah.
Is
his foot
in this guy's butt? Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of that. But then the next panel with the shaman dreamscape is even better
Super
than
cool.
Things we saw last week.
Yeah, I
really
think this is the
great.
best spread of the book here. This is really cool. And we see Argent kind of like going through his memories. Cloudleg is helping him regress in his own mind and see, I was dream picker. I remember the sounds, a child's laughter, and these kind of things. And then he remembers wind in the leaves.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dog leg, eagle scratch, the rest, they were evil. He remembers his life and he kind of gets all you know, the realities come back to him and he's like, damn.
Nice little recap for those of you who weren't keeping score.
Right. Who picked up number 2 and not number 1.
So that on the next spread, Argent kind of goes through it's very pulpy. It's very pulp vigilante.
Sorry, you're on 15 still?
I'm on 15 for the first time.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, were we talking about 15?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But go ahead.
My bad. Yeah, it's just very pulp vigilante.
Yeah.
And he talks, you know, it's almost like you can imagine him as an urban avenger.
Yeah.
In this, I will vanquish the evil ones forever. And next on 16, Bernie's cloudscapes are really really wonderful.
Yeah. Beautiful work on this whole spread, the trees on 17.
Yeah.
But he comes back and he's like, forever I must hunt and slay. So he's like waking up with the memories
of this dream,
right.
Of the Argent dream. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then they're talking about Maslin, like, no, I didn't say that. That was Maslin. And he's like, and then they're kind of arguing here between the two of them, what they're going to do and what he saw, he's trying to talk it out.
Yeah. And it sounds like what we're supposed to take from this is that Maslin finds these dream sensitive native shaman and maybe moves through them, you know, in one way or another. I think that in the third issue there's a little bit more of that coming up. But
nice. I believe that I had read these 2 issues before, but I certainly haven't read the 3rd issue, so I'm excited to get to that next week.
I gotta tell you, like, this is far from, I've said it before, this is far from my least favorite Grendel story. I think this is a perfectly suitable Grendel Tales type story that has real important lore in understanding the wondrous wolf.
Right. Who didn't get his due because Grendel's so awesome, you know, but like, you know, and it'll be cool to see him come back with Christine Spar. I kind of had forgot about that. Yeah.
It's all about using magic to beat a curse and all of that. And here we see more depravity at the end of this, more depravity from Billy Cloudleg, because he knows that Argent is lonely because of wind in the leaves. And, we get this guy laid, we won't have any problems, like Pete Venkman says.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is where his dastardly plan starts. He starts devising it, and he's like, if we can lure him out and then we can control him with sex and his missing love, then we can be the most powerful people in the land because we control the Wendigo. Yeah. We control the Silverback.
It's a weird plan because it's not like they have wind in the leaves. They just have a native woman.
Right.
And he's like, that'll be enough.
He's gonna like try to
So,
use
okay.
the memories or like their thought connection to like imprint on him that like this is Wind in the Leaves, because that's all Argent seems to want is or think that he can get, which is like her back, but it's like 200 years later.
Well, yeah, but that and to protect people, or to do not even to protect people, but to do violence on people who are evil.
Right.
So if we can
Who
put
would do
her
this?
in a situation where it looks like that's happening, then we can lure him into sex, and he'll do whatever.
It's only about 100 years later, because
Mhm.
this is 1775 and last week was
Like
1684.
1630.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So then we get the Kamiko hype page, a little write up, and what's coming next week. Grendel 38 ships on December 5th. The Grendel mask again. We got to find one of those. And then here we see them kind of angling up on page 18 to Fort Quebec. And they're like, you really want me to play Wax the Lizard with that thing? So like they're trying to convince her that she's got to have sex with Argent. This is an insane plan.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, they're not good people.
No, they're terrible people.
And so she'll do it for $3. That's how much money he and Charlie has, or whatever. So
so he's trying to do these incantations to like lure the wolf on here. They're out in this little lean-to, and they're like, "Oh man, it's so freezing." And she's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm naked." And he's like, "Oh, you're cold? Okay, well maybe he doesn't know you're a woman." So he takes the blanket off of her, and so now she's naked out just like trying to provoke Argent to come get her.
This was the spread where color-wise I felt the most like I was reading a European comic, particularly the last panel on page 19.
Yeah.
The way that the earth tones are used, like more saturated on the figure in front than on the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also really enjoy Bernie's square brush that he's using to apply the snowflakes, or maybe it's a chalk pastel, but it looks like, I mean, that, digitally that's super easy, but to get the nice square like polygons on those snowflakes, especially cool in panel 1, is pretty good tool control there.
Yeah, 2 as well. You can see some of the strokes there. It's kind of like a chisel tip, maybe, or something.
Yeah. So anyway, they're holding. Oh God, they're holding her down. Argent is drawn to the medicine. He sees the woman. Do I remember her? She is okay. She's a woman, so he remembers a woman. Okay,
yeah,
great.
And he's like, "Look, it worked. Keep pretending to be frightened." She's like, "Pretending? You fucking dungheads are trying to kill me. Help! Help! Murder!" But then unexpectedly, the party comes, or maybe this is the reinforcements that are showing up.
No, these are the guys these are the trappers and farm hands that have been there.
Right. So
panel 3 is not great. It took me a while to realize what was going on.
That he's getting shot in the shoulder or something.
He's getting shot in the shoulder. That, there's a really bizarre tangent between his hand and her wrist behind him.
Oh yeah.
The bullet is like a straight. The bullet line is parallel to the panel borders, and there's a sound effect that gets totally lost to the left of Billy Cloudfoot's head.
Oh.
This is a truly bizarre panel.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at how much empty space is in the upper left.
Yeah, I mean, everything's continuing with like strangeness and weirdness, and then he calls them drunken assholes. You'll ruin everything. He'll run amok, and that's exactly what happens after Louise gets a axe to the cranium for no reason.
Yeah, one thing I really enjoyed about this issue was how much Messner Loebs leans into the cartoony on some of these face designs. Yeah. So there's this guy in the foreground of the second to last panel on page 20. And he just looks like a crazy character from, that Journey book or whatever. His crooked nose.
Yeah. Looks like from Toratunes or something. Do you ever read that?
I can imagine. I remember there was a red hardcover bound like Bible graphic novel that made the rounds like in people's homes or in the school library or whatever. But it might have been like a Classics Illustrated collection or something like that. But I do recall something.
We had one called Toratunes, which was the Old
Toratunes.
Testament in comics. Because I was all I did was draw during Sunday school. My teachers couldn't get me to listen otherwise. And so they're just like, all right, let's see if we
Give
can
them the
combine
comics.
the two. And I was like, I'll remember this for never.
There is a large comics publishing company that does biblical work exclusively.
Yeah, I bet.
That I caught wind of a few weeks ago, and it showed like their corporate offices and studio, and it just like straight up looked like a 1990s comics boom studio house with like the logo like in acrylic sign on the outside.
I mean, people want those. They'll just want those stories no matter what.
Yeah, man. And the work looked cool. It looked like exciting professional work.
Nice.
So,
good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an active market for sure. Let's get back to the slaughters here.
Yeah, right. The highlights on the breasts are really
yeah. And again,
they're really done.
It seems to be that square brush that Bernie was using for the snowflakes or something. Just
maybe,
less,
Look
less
at
opacity.
look at those brush strokes on this guy's beard. In the second last panel, the guy with the big hand on his forehead.
Oh yeah, whoa.
Yeah, I think that might be an opaque white that they're putting on over at the end instead of going around it. Yeah.
And so now, I mean, they're drunken idiots. They're shooting everyone. They shoot him through, and then Argent comes in. Le loup d'Argent. And that's when Argent is thinking, wind in the leaves. You killed her again. And that's when he just slices this dude's head off with his hand. And they're just like, holy shit, run.
I enjoy the axe to the head. It's a little like Tex Avery, but the color makes it work better than it should.
Yeah, the backsplashes.
It's weird that the blood that's coming out of the axe is like gray and purple.
Right.
But look at Bernie's. I think what Bernie's doing here is he has a layer of Frisket over the figures, and it looks like after an orange wash, he used a red pastel.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have been able to get the orange in there doing it that way, like as you said with the Frisket.
Maybe.
Into
and then
the blood.
maybe the hair was done at the maybe done or redone.
Yeah, put it in like solid or something. I have no idea, man.
I don't know. It's crazy. But this Argent is weird. It's like very amateur hour. And the legs aren't even fucking right.
Yeah, they didn't even do them.
They do them in the other panels, but in this one where he's like obscured by cross hatching.
Yeah, it's very golden age. It's very like golden age hero kind of thing.
It's weird. You know, the leg that's bent, you know, the figure is done with the hatching. There's no holding lines. Yeah. So the movement effect is quite nice. These hands are rough, bro.
Well, yeah, and his face on the bottom panel, he looks like a Nausicaan from Star Trek or something.
In the bottom one?
Yeah.
Oh man. The leaping, it's weird. Something weird is happening here.
Yeah.
But there's so many good things to talk about.
Well, then this next page too.
Mostly the color.
Yeah. Well, 22 is a beautiful page as well, where Billy Cloudleg is kind of like going into his mind, trying to connect with Argent. Mm-hmm. That's right. Crawl away, escape. They'll never catch me. But then what happens here? It goes from his eye to Argent's eye, or he feels like the devil inside of him, or feels.
I think it's a mind meld.
Yeah.
I mean, the effect is really, it's one of those things where like the storytelling is clear on this abstract thing that's happening. And so you don't need to explain it because it's especially in panel 3, the way that Billy's like thought balloon kind of merges with Argent's.
Oh wow, that's cool.
With Argent's caption, that's super cool. However, I don't think that Argent has used this caption. This is all of Argent's captions are just white squares.
Right, except for this.
So-
well, he's like enraged, and now it's kind of like,
I don't know.
because he says more voices in my head, more dead. So then Cloudleg's in his head being like, do it, kill them all. And so Argent's kind of being manipulated a little bit right here, and he doesn't like that.
Yeah, I think it might also. I think that the voices might also be of these dudes that he's killing.
Oh, is
They
this
might-
him
they might-
killing?
they might
no,
be-
this is this
they
him,
might be-
him? Sorry to keep.
No,
interrupting.
he doesn't kill. He kills the trappers.
Well, but where's the guy's beard? I don't understand this beard. It's like coming out of his face. Do you see
That's
that?
That's his arm. That is the trappers. Okay, so I can see both of Argent's hands.
The beard.
It's not a beard.
What is it?
It's his scarf or something.
I guess, dude, it's confusing for sure. Okay, no, because you see that same guy like right here, and he just has like a big bushy mustache. So it's not a beard. So it's just this like huge bushy mustache that's coming down. So I guess that's what it is. All right, so he kills this guy with all the voices in his head, and then like in the end, the reinforcements arrive, but it's like there was no one there to help them or to meet them. Benedict Arnold was shot in the kneecap, so he couldn't even do anything. And it's like the forces were like turned and thrown backwards, and they ran to the woods where Argent was waiting to just destroy and kill. So it's like no one survived this quest or this campaign on Fort Quebec.
Yeah, Argent. Oh, I see what's happening here. You're right that the red caption is. It's like in Being John Malkovich, where John Cusack's consciousness is trapped inside of a little girl at the end.
Yeah.
Argent realizes that part of his power is that the people that he fucks up or shamans that Maslin can absorb can teach him more about his situation. And so instead of chilling in the wilderness, he's got to get himself to the cities.
Yeah.
Where there's more people to punish forever.
Yeah, he needs and yeah, so he has this, because now on the very last page we see the red outline saying like, God, oh God, let me out, let me die. So like he's now got that consciousness in his head.
That's Billy Cladfoot.
Right.
And
he's
so
like,
and it's a consciousness that has a fresher memory of shaman magic, of medicine.
right.
Okay.
Who I'm sure will slowly become like part of his consciousness, and then it'll just be one consciousness in the end.
My take on this issue is that there are a few last minute pages. Like this last spread, like the interest is definitely much lower than it was when this book is kind of at its peak.
Yeah.
But when this book is working, like the wicked ways of rapist murderers aside, like it's quite good. I think that what I wish this book is structured differently. I wish that there was an A thread that took place in late 70s, mid 80s New York, dealing with Argent and Grendel. And then maybe there's a magical element in New York that Argent is tapping into to gain access to this origin story across time, because it just like drops us right in. And if you're not like intimate with the meaning and significance of this character to a much larger story, who by the way hasn't shown up in like 25 issues of the ongoing series.
Right. Yeah, he's
You
way
know,
he's way gone.
like he's way gone. So, you know, it might be that like they were like, oh, for the long game, like one day this will all be in sequence and you can read it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's pros and I think there's cons here.
I think there is too. And I'm interested to see what happens next week. I haven't read that issue. It says find out what really happened when Argent encountered Grendel, the truth behind the conflict, the years behind the wait. So
I gave it a quick flip, and it seems like the art hits its peak in this issue.
awesome.
And yeah, well, not really.
Well,
It's not awesome, but the peaks here are real peaks.
and Grendel's in it. We see Grendel. Bill Messner Loebs draws Grendel in it.
He's in one panel, yes.
Ah, classic.
He's in one very lackluster panel where it's like a lot of these black, white, and reds. He'll show up at the end.
Yeah.
It's like the dullest version of that device.
Well, here again in the okay.
But say some nice things. There are parts here where the storytelling and art are phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's engrossing, and it brings you into the story, and all the terribleness. I mean, that's good storytelling because it makes you hate these people, and it gets you to see the savageness of the time period, of the situation, and of everybody's choices that they make, what they're driven by, fear and hate and all this stuff. So it's you understand the people through their prejudices and the hate and the way that it all works.
Yeah, Argent is a mysterious figure who needs to be explained. Maybe one day there will be another Hunter Rose series that retreads and retools some of these ideas.
Yes. The epic white, black, and red that we want to pitch.
Yeah, sure.
Next.
Silver. It'll be silver and red.
Oh man, that's good.
Cool.
Yeah. So the final letters column is really cool. I mean, we don't have to go over it too much, but it's worth seeking out these 3 issues to see these little excerpts from Matt's unpublished Grendel novel. And this one is, 3 columns that take place on the rooftop there at the Masonic Temple. And I think it's really interesting, and how they talk a little bit about Stacy and how they're both here because of a woman, because of Wind in the Leaves, and because of Stacy. And
these are ideas that have come up in our podcast before. And so when I read this, I was like, wow, we've been on the right track.
We've been on track. It's really cool.
Did Matt give you any info on this novel? I feel like you asked him, but he
didn't get back.
Not to say anything.
Yeah.
When I read this, it really reminded me of the pulp fiction that I have read, which is, I've read, it's been a while. I read most of H.P. Lovecraft. I read maybe about half of Robert E. Howard's Conan. And then on Matt's suggestion, I got into Philip Jose Farmer, who was active between like the 50s and mid 80s. And he was a guy who grew up on Doc Savage and Edgar Rice Burroughs and The Shadow and all that stuff, and sort of he modernized it at the time by making it like way hornier and like more sci-fi religious themes and stuff like that.
Yeah, gotta have that horn in there.
And when I read this, it kind of reminded me of my impressions on that, and also like some like I have a buddy who is the licensed author of the Green Llama. He's not a llama; he's like a Buddhist llama. It's like a character whose like name didn't translate, out of the 40s. But he's basically like he's like a Buddhist version of the Shadow. And so Adam has been, for a decade now, has been writing these like modern pulp tales of this Shadow-esque character.
Wow, that's cool.
And it reads like this, it moves fast, it, hits hard, dialogue, all that stuff. So, I would read a Matt Wagner prose novel. Absolutely.
Well, you did you read Past Prime, right? So
well, that's Greg Rucka.
Oh, that's Greg Rucka.
Or Greg Rucka.
Right. Yeah, Rucka, yeah.
I read like 100 pages of that book. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Also horny.
Very horny. Yep, very
nice. That was nice. But I would read more.
Definitely read Matt's novel.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Matt,
so
Matt
next week
Matt has many more projects in him, so that'll be
tons.
exciting.
Yeah, I wonder where that is. Like, where is it? It's there. It's done. I bet. Well, so
Everything
next
changed-
week,
everything changed and changed again. And
Yeah,
I think
true.
that the backdrop is that like the legal headaches that Kamiko caused, like you just want to move on, I think, after that. Like
Yeah.
he's, you know,
he's done with
I-
it.
he's a nice guy. I don't know if he's a litigious guy or not, but like probably doesn't want to deal with it. You can cut this part out where I speculate on Matt's legal woes.
All right, so next week we're going to come back with Red, White, and Black. We've got about 3 more episodes of Red, White, and Black, and then we're going to get into the Shadow and Grendel. So next week we've got Devil Say, Devil Do by Stan Sakai, Devil, Devil on the Roof, art by Xander Cannon, and then Scared of the Devil by Matt Wagner.
Oh boy.
Going to be good.
Should be good, man.
Yeah. All right, cool. Another week. Keep on Grendelin.
Keep on vivatin. Vivat
on-
Grendel.
Vivat Grendel. Have a
Vivat
great
Grendel.
day.
Do you notice how this house ad is like flatly colored instead of by Bernie?
This
That's
house
right.
ad? Or no, the
The
Silverback
Silverback
ad?
3 house ad?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all.
I
Vivat
enjoy it.
Grendel.
Good job, Bernie. You really pulled it off.
Yeah, your coloring is amazing, man.
Vivat Grendel.
Vivat Grendel.